Welcome to Conscious Brainwash.
How you
Hi,
doing?
I'm very good, Sean. How are you?
I'm good.
We're shooting episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you a little jittery?
Yeah, I feel a little weird sometimes. Always introducing, I'm always like, okay, now it's on. Now it's time to go.
Yeah, this is our first episode for Conscious Brainwash. Actually, technically, it's not first. We have to re-record because we did some technical errors. Let's admit it. That's fine. It's like truth, raw vulnerability. So, guys, this is actually our first episode because we shot this episode, but for technical reasons, we have to shoot it again. So, we have more ideas. We are grown. We have learned more. So, it works out really well.
It's the most important episode too, right?
Yes.
So we really wanted to give it the time and attention.
Yeah. So, we're very excited about it. So, it's called Law of Attraction. Law of Attraction. That's the name of the episode. We're going to talk about Law of Attraction today.
Absolutely. It's the name of a lifestyle.
Yes. So, Sean, what does law of attraction means to you? What does it mean? What is it? If somebody listening doesn't know.
So law of attraction is kind of the start of a massive growth that comes into your life. And once you kind of gain the knowledge of what the law of attraction is, it changes things in your life for the better, only for the better. Because you take full responsibility for everything that happens, no matter what happens, good or bad. You take responsibility and you make efforts and you make action on what it is that you want to do. So
like, what is it exactly? Like, if I don't know, okay, you said what it does to you once you understand it. What is it? Like, what does it mean?
what does the law of attraction mean? Well,
what does it mean to you? Like,
it means you change the frequency of what it is that you're putting out into the world so that you bring that which you are putting out there to you.
So more or less, you can attract what you want in your life. That's what law of attraction means.
Like, yeah, very
Yes.
basic. Yeah.
So in a basic term, law of attraction is you can attract anything you want in your life. So
Yeah.
You want a better life than you have right now, you can attract it. You want a better physique than you have right now, you can attract it. So that's where it starts. Law of attraction. You
Yeah.
attract what you want.
Attracting people, attracting situations, attracting
Everything.
health, attracting, like luck, for example.
Everything. All aspects of your life right now, whether they are favorable or whether they are challenging, you are attracting it.
Yeah.
That's what law of attraction is. So you believe in it, you like it, you don't like it,
It's happening.
it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening to everyone. It's a law of universe.
Yeah.
So the sooner we accept it, the sooner we can really learn a lot from how it works and go more deep into it. So
Yeah.
law of attraction, whatever is happening in your life is what you're attracting. How do we change? If we like what we have, things are amazing, but what if we don't like what we have going on in our life right now? How do we change those things? How do I attract what I don't want, and how do I attract what I do want? So somebody out listening right now might be struggling with their weight, their health, their relationship with their spouse, girlfriend, job, career, not finding passion, friendship, anything it could be. So parenting, they could be struggling with any of those things. How do they change? How do they attract good in those areas? You want to take?
Yeah. And I think the approach begins with shifting your focus on the positives and not the negatives.
So thinking, so thoughts. So it starts with the thoughts.
It starts like in the mental plane.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of look at the situation, and instead of going about it and thinking in a negative way about the things that are going on,
Mm-hmm.
trying to find the positives, the learning experiences, and then inflating those to make them bigger than what they look like in that scenario. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that would be the first kind of step.
So starting with the thought. So first of all,
Starting with the thoughts on the positive elements,
whatever
of
we are looking
whatever
to.
it is, even if you feel like it's only negative, work your ass off to try and find the positive sides of it.
So there is always a positive, there is always a learning in everything happening around us. So start looking at the positive, start looking at the best case scenario, and start envisioning that best case scenario in your mind about anything you are looking to accomplish.
Yeah.
So it starts with the thought, and I've learned through multiple different authors that the thought itself sometimes might not be enough, because the thought is only as good as the emotion associated with that thought. So if I am looking to break barriers with my income and try to make double or triple of what I am making annually, just thinking about that thought that I want to make double of my current income is not going to change anything unless I am feeling the way I will be feeling when I have hit that goal. Gets associated with the thought. So that's a very important lesson I have learned, that your thought has to be associated with the emotion you have in that moment.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to get into a healthy body and you are envisioning yourself having a six pack or like a lean body or like whatever your goals are in terms of your health or anything, there has to be an emotion associated, like a positive emotion associated with it.
Yeah.
Not an emotion of fear or doubt, or sometimes we have so much doubts about ourselves and we are still trying to think the best case scenario. That doesn't work. That's not going to work. The thought and the emotion has to align, and then it creates the action needed to make that thing happen. So that's how I have learned law of attraction plays out. Starts with the thought, add the right emotion to it, and then the action follows.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what law of attraction I learned, and I applied it in a lot of different ways. Sean handed me the book Law of Attraction. I was totally unaware of this idea. Had never heard about this.
Yeah.
And it's been 2.5 years and my life hasn't been same. And that book has led to so many different amazing things I have been able to accomplish in the last 2.5 years.
When you become like hyper aware, you become like a apex predator, because you know the floor, you know the lay of the land. It's like you know the rules and the governing laws. Like I like to say that, we have the judicial system and we have law, but I feel like karma and these universal laws have more protection over us than the actual, scenarios. Like in the street, somebody can hold a gun to you, but it's like, okay, in this scenario, how are you learning from it? What's happening? And I feel like karma in these situations and the law of attraction, and if you can truly understand the fundamental principles of these universal laws, quote unquote, you have more strength and capability to build a life. And and mentioning emotion, so like emotional guidance system in the law of attraction, they talk about getting familiar. Prior to reading the law of attraction, I wasn't aware of how my intuition was affecting my day-to-day life and maybe my week-to-week, month-to-month, and year-to-year. And like when you feel a little uneasy, what that slight feeling is actually saying to you. And the law of attraction teaches you how to gain a sensitivity to something that otherwise was something that was always within me, that I had no clue how to understand. I never spoke the language of my emotions, and even language is us trying to put emotion into words. It's never really like pure emotion. And so learning that communication that's going on within your body is something that the law of attraction helps you start and begin with.
I also feel like, Sean, law of attraction isn't some voodoo concept or something in air. I feel like it's a very real life practical thing which happens to us on day-to-day basis. It's associated with the physiology of our body, everything going on inside of our body. And even in terms of it's not only the good things happen with law of attraction is in play with everything. So even if there is something going wrong in your life right now which you are not very happy with, if you really drill it down, those things which are not going right now are happening because you might be too scared of those things, and because the thoughts are all negative and you are scared, which is adding the emotion into it, and now you are doing actions which are aligning with what you don't want to get. Pick up a simple example, like somebody is looking to lose weight, and that person is thinking of losing weight, trying to look themselves in the mirror and trying to envision the positive side of what they are looking to accomplish, their the dream body, or however you want to say that. And at the same time, they have a fear, or they have
they're lacking motivation.
They really can't imagine them, and then they keep giving themselves the same answer. They always that, oh, it's impossible for me, I won't be able to do it. Oh, I did it for so long, nothing changed. Oh, it's not working, I have this, I have that. We keep giving ourselves all those excuses, and then it's going to follow with no action towards it. So then it's going to bring in the same result. You're going to stay at the same place. So law of attraction plays in the both ways, good and bad ways too. So you have to be really conscious of the thoughts and what kind of emotions you're associating with those 100%. Thoughts. And then if you're going to keep drooling over the same thoughts with the same emotions, your actions are going to align.
Even you can speak to it like there's the weight loss example, but something that also hits home with the entrepreneurs and the business, like independent business owners out there, is making the independent business decision, or even like a large scale executive jump where you want to change jobs and you have to risk a little bit. Sometimes you're scared, you're living in a place maybe of fear, I don't know, but think about how your business scaled once you gained this kind of understanding. And I remember when you first kind of were jumping into it, along with myself, it was you were living. You weren't like, it's not like you could put your life on pause. So you had to make decisions in the real life world, and your business is an example of that. Because I mean, maybe you could go or explain a little bit about how a little bit of the law of attraction actually played itself out in your own company, and making certain decisions, or at least gaining the motivation to do certain things. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
So I think after learning, so just a little, I go backwards 2.5 years ago when I was introduced to this book. I was working independently.
But the concept as well.
The concept as well, right? So the whole notion of law of attraction. I was working independently, and I had no real plan for what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years to 5 years. Yes, I had vivid ideas, or like all those big dreams everybody has, but there was no plan to it. After reading Law of Attraction, I started understanding how important it is to have clarity of what you're looking to do.
Like vision boards and
stuff like that. And you need to know at least
writing, journaling.
Yeah. So I started learning about what's going to look like. What I do want to achieve. Oh, I want to have a company. How many people do I need to have in a company? Oh, I need to have 5 people in my company. What roles you're gonna assign to those people?
So you're doing business development
in your mind. And then you keep doing this
with
exercise.
Zero experience, pretty much.
Yeah. And then you keep doing this exercise over and over until you feel those emotions. You feel, and a really important thing in this whole process is you need wins, right? So a lot of people will go through this process and they might not get a win in early stages, and they might get disappointed that I have been thinking nothing is happening. But I was lucky enough to get small wins in the beginning with it. And then I just ran from there, and I kept using the same analogy. I was able to build a company with almost 13 people in last 2 years from no idea of doing all of these things, and we were able to start this podcast. I was able to run an ultra marathon, and so many accomplishments, and I give a credit to a lot of credit to this concept and how
you scaled your business, you scaled employees, you scaled your team,
myself,
you scaled yourself, you scaled your family,
my relationships,
you scaled your I think everything. If you were to look at the charts, we're all like upward
and you know there are downward lines. There are down times, there are times when things are not going your way, and you start to have an understanding that it's not wrong. Life is not going to happen to you
Perfectly.
in a perfect way.
Yeah.
Life is just going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you make out of it?
And
There is
accepting
going to be
it. There's a lot of accepting.
yeah, there's a lot of acceptance. You have to look at the positive side of it. You have to learn something from it. You have to not associate emotions with your failures and then just take it as a learning and move on, because it's one step at a time. So there was amazing learnings from all this idea of law of attraction. And one thing I realized is a lot of people get scared. Fear is like a big killer. Fear is what's like taking or keeping most of the humans to not to hit their full potential. I find the cure for fear, which I learned through law of attraction, is gratitude. So anytime you're scared, you have any sort of fear, you are unsure about things, you should start counting things you are grateful for. And that's something I learned from law of attraction, that there is a lot to be grateful about in each and every second. Every human being on this planet has something to be grateful about every second of the day.
Yeah.
We just have to find those smallest things.
Yeah.
So finding those smallest things, being grateful for those things, and act as an antidote for fear.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a very good starting point. People listening out there, you might be in a later stage of your personal growth, early stages. Anybody could be in any different life stage right now.
Yeah.
Your goals could be anything. But if you don't know about law of attraction, we would definitely recommend picking up the book.
Yeah. Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Yeah.
I think it's like Abraham, something like that. We'll
Law.
put a link for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to speak to, even you mentioned voodoo, because tackling that is a big thing too, because stigma is something that exists, and there's some stigma that exists around the law of attraction. So like there are certain things where when you read the book, it's like, okay, how do you actually figure this out? Like, what do you do now? And it's as easy as just becoming the experiment. And you know that, and I know that. It's like we can now look back 2.5 years later and say, well, you know what? Whether the law of attraction was valid and it was real or not, I don't know. But what the confidence it provided me, and with the support that it provided me, it's like I could care less if it was real or not, because I mean, my life is, I'm living in a happier place. It was like paying for a therapist and not having to pay a monthly bill to a therapist. You read a book once and it's like, it's going to provide you that help every single time. And we all have to get comfortable doing our own psychotherapy. Somebody else isn't going to solve your problems. You're going to solve your own problems because you came up with your own problems.
Yeah.
And so a book that helps you kind of start to do that is one that's definitely worth your time. And then there's...
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to mention the research. The research, bless you. The research now that's coming out with like Dr. Joe Dispenza in particular. And then you get all this conscious conversations. People do neuroscientists talking about it. They're talking about there being consciousness in the gut, there being consciousness in the heart, how the electromagnetic frequencies throughout the body are scattered. They're not just isolated in the brain. And so like there's all this research coming out to kind of validate these philosophical / spiritual topics.
Yeah.
But you prove it for yourself, because you get up in the morning, you do the work, you go to work, you go to the gym, you have your relationships, you have to do it. Nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
And so...
No, I think there are a lot of people listening out there right now, and even us, we want logic, we want proof behind it. Like the generation we live in, we don't really believe in things which are not proven.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's all good. What is it?
Oh, I don't know. Law of attraction.
It's all my bullshit.
Yeah. So I feel like sorry, where were we? I sneezed out the thought.
Just validating certain things in the world we live in now, where people want
they want validation. So when I read the book, there was a lot of philosophy, a lot of religious text in it. So it was good for me that I still believed it, but I feel like a lot of people would read it and it might not last long until they really get a validation. digging more deep into law of attraction, as Sean mentioned, I came across a lot of people who talk about law of attraction, but in a very scientific form. And it's a science. It's an actual science. Your thoughts create your vibrations, create the chemicals get released in your body. The chemicals make you feel a certain way, that make you feel do certain actions. Those actions are which result into making certain choices.
Yeah.
Or certain things happen or not happen. So everything is very interrelated.
Yeah.
So I feel like law of attraction, having an understanding of law of attraction in both a philosophical way, whatever way works for scientific, quantum physics, whatever way, is very, very like a must for every human being, because then I call it, you can call your bullshit out. So if things are not going favorable for me, I just go back to the drawing board and I'm like, okay, why am I manifesting these things in my life? Because these things are not just happening for no reason. Yes, life is happening, but there might be some kind of fear I'm going through, or I'm trying to avoid, or I'm trying not to face, or maybe I'm not taking actions appropriate to what I'm trying to achieve. That's why these things are happening. So it can kind of help me call my own bullshit, and I go back and I see, okay, these things are why this is happening, because there's always cause and effect relationship in everything happening around us, right? So that helps a lot. Dr. Joe Dispenza is an amazing super good. You can Google him, you can listen to a lot of stuff he has, and he talks about a very scientific approach to all these things. So people out there who might think it's a voodoo shit, like you just think and you make things happen, go watch it and you'll know how it works, right? So
there was two things. Like, you can also type in or search up E equals MC squared and the law of attraction, and it does a breakdown on how Einstein's famous equation is an example of how the law of attraction operates on our physical plane, and how energy is equal to matter times the speed of light in a vacuum, but just energy is equal to matter. And when you put the energy out there, it begins to actually manifest as that material object that you're imagining, because those electrical impulses in your brain are real. They're 100% a frequency that is inside of your brain. And then that with the double slit experiment, you can also Google the double slit experiment and the law of attraction, and that was when scientists realized that observing experiments actually changes the results of it. They looked at light going through two slits, and sometimes it acted like a wave, sometimes it acted like a particle, and when they observed it, it only acted one way, and when they looked away, it acted another way. And so they found, okay, this is interesting, because when we view it, it's almost like it knows we're watching it, and it's like it being reality. Like your waking existence is being it, you observing it alone helps you there are
numerous examples, like in the world out there is hundreds and thousands of examples of people envisioning something for them and then getting to that place. You might hear athletes talking about envisioning how they want the game to go, like how they want to perform. All these greats like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all these people, like they envision things. Navy SEALs, like perfect example. They envision things how they want it to play, and they keep envisioning those things over and over and over and over until they program their brain to take actions appropriate to actually make that thing happen. So it's crazy how our mind works, and
it is a superpower inside of you, but it doesn't come with, Sadhguru says, it doesn't come with a manual. But this world, if the more we start to do this trial and error type of thing, we start to see, you know what, these things are consistent. No matter 100 years ago, 5,000 years ago, the law of attraction is still going to be the law of attraction. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the types of shoes we wear, the types of vehicles we use to drive around, how we communicate. These things are like circumstantial to where we're alive. But the law of attraction says, be happy. And this is how you can be happy. Be whatever you want to be, and this is how you can be whatever you want to be. Be a creator, and this is how you can create.
And we have like so many examples in our own life, Sean, where we can give an example to our listeners, which things played out exactly the way you or me envisioned, or us envisioned. Even with this podcast, with the studio you guys are like looking at 6 months ago when we decided to go into like doing the podcast, there wasn't like really a clear picture, but then more and more thought you put into the studio. We have a full on amazing studio here, like, and I know you were putting details, like even build, like making pictures of how you want the table to look like, how you want certain side of the room to look like. And I remember for me it was a little difficult because I don't
not in my brain.
I don't operate like that. So for me, I'm like, oh, how is he like doing all this stuff? But now everything materialized and it exactly played the way you wanted it, right? Like I had an amazing experience yesterday. I was like watching this one of the biggest real estate agents in Canada. I was watching him from 6-8 months and admiring what he does, and I was just secretly hoping I'm going to see him one day and I'm going to be able to meet up with him. And just opportunity presented yesterday from nowhere. I just bumped into him and he ended up he was friends with one of my friends, and I was like so thrilled, and it was another affirmation to me that this shit works, man.
This shit works.
This shit works. You have to have the right intention. You have to have the right energy put out there, and then leave everything up to the universe to sort it out itself, right? Don't ask how. Just do the work on your own, and then leave everything else to the universe. Sooner or later, once your energy is aligned, it's gonna find its way.
Absolutely.
And so book is a great resource. We would definitely recommend you the book. And if you guys have anything you want to know more about law of attraction, you guys can reach out to us. Is there anything else, Sean, you would like to chat?
Well, we got a couple things like I think we could still talk about, like well, just how your outlook on other individuals, that could be like,
oh yeah, that's actually that they talk about in the book as well.
You can use law of attraction in yourself to kind of, like you just said, the more you start to focus on your reality, the universe actually starts to work in conjunction with that as well, and the universe starts to manifest the reality you want as well. But you can also think positively and think optimistically for other people in your life as well. You might sometimes people are associated to just giving money to people and that being like it, like that, here you go, this is me giving you something of value. But sometimes you give money and you're like doubting this individual, and the doubt is, it's almost like you shouldn't have even given them the money, because your doubt is way more of a,
like your doubt is worse than
like,
being a broke.
You're putting out a frequency of like, it's like I work my butt off to do what I need to do, and then if I have a lot of negativity around me, getting out of that, maybe if I'm in a hole or if I'm in a bad neighborhood or something like that, is difficult. But if I have support from the individuals around me, or if I'm viewing somebody who I'm like, wow, look at this person, and I think positively about them, and I imagine the future that they're gonna live in, whatever it is that they're gonna do, I actually support them in their efforts more than just giving them money, because not all the time you won't have money to give to people. But homeless people are an example of that too. Don't just give them money. Actually imagine this person growing out of this, and like being a little bit of like a flower, or like a lotus flower growing out of the swamp and like the dark places, and growing up to the top of the water. And
no, I hear you, and even in the book they talked about it, how law of attraction not only plays in your own life, it plays with the people around you as well. Like not only it plays is like you might think, oh, how does my partner or my parent or your loved ones, how do things are not changing for them? Ask yourself, are you thinking any different for them? Inside of us, we are already doubting them. We are already thinking, like not in a bad way, but in a caring and a loving way. We are thinking, oh, he doesn't even know he's gonna fail. Oh, but from outside we are supporting them. From inside we are not really supporting them. So all those things play too. So if you have a loved one who is struggling with anything in your life, help them. Not only by telling them this, but also tell yourself to think differently for them. If you have a loved one who is struggling with finances, relationship, health, whatever, think of them in the best case scenario. And that might create a different energy around them. We keep thinking of our loved ones or people around us in the same fashion, and same things happening to them and over, and they are unable to get out of this matrix, and we are not helping them either. So if any of you gets law of attraction right now or later, help your loved ones as well, right? So like
you're gonna be the change that they're gonna see as well, but then you also, as a creator, as a human being, you are going to inspire people around you. So do it. Like don't not live up to that.
Yeah. Think of you, who would you have to be in order to achieve whatever you're looking to achieve.
Yeah.
So let's say if it's health, money, relationships, whatever you're looking to achieve, who do you have to be in order to get those things? Or who would you be once you have those things? And then have affirmations of you being that person right now.
Yeah.
So let's say if in order for me, once, like, let's say if I'm looking to have, like, lose weight and I'm looking to be healthy, then when I am healthy, who am I? I'm a strong, muscular person with a strong, like, a growth mindset. That's the person I am once I am there.
Yeah.
So having an affirmation to yourself every day that I am a strong, muscular person with a growth mindset will help you to start changing the behaviors
now,
which will drive you to get to that, being that person. So affirmations are super powerful. Like, have affirmations in the morning. Tell yourself what would you like to be today. Tell yourself what would you like to, the best case scenario from the meeting you are going into. So have those affirmations. I personally do, and I see a lot of other people doing sticky notes on their mirrors, on their doors, like in their cars, for things they are looking to do or things they are looking to achieve. Because the more you're going to have a visual of those things, the more you're going to think about those things. And if you are conscious enough to think good about those things, your actions are starting to align, and you will achieve those things. And it helped both of us in all of the areas in our life. Not that it's perfect, but again, it's growing, and we understand why it's working and why it's not working.
And you get okay with it not being perfect. I think that's the whole
Nothing
thing.
is perfect, right? Nothing is perfect.
Is you find the balance of it, and once you can find that, like, middle point, then you see why it's perfect. When you see the point where it's like, oh, okay, this is 60% this way and 40% this way, but it's when you meet it, you got to find that in between place, and then find the balance in it and live in that middle ground. Because when things get too exciting, just get ready, because there's also going to be, in every scenario, the equal amount of negativity or equal amount of positivity. That's why when you go out at clubs and stuff, you see so much, like, drama, because it's like either the most thrilling or the most disappointing of nights, and you're just like, what the heck, like, how is this all happening? It's because there's both realities, there's both options, and when you push the extreme to one end, you're also pushing it invisibly to the other end, down low or up top. So living in that, like, nice neutral point of wherever the balance is kind of
that's very important.
And affirmations, that's pretty much how the book ends off as well, is talking about affirmations, how to do affirmations, and then dipping into vision boards and stuff like that. But
if any of you whose excuse is they can't buy the book or they don't have the resources to do it, reach out to us. We will be very happy to send you guys a copy of the book. After you finish this book, it leads to another book which is called Keys to Living Law of Attraction, which is a very, very helpful book too. It has places to take notes. It asks you
quotes
a lot of
on,
good
like,
questions.
every page.
Once you go through this book, go through the other one, and it will give you, like, the exercises what you need to do.
How to actually implement it. It's such a good book.
Such a great book. So Law of Attraction, Keys to Living Law of Attraction, these two books would definitely help you get a right mindset in place.
That'll, like, snowball you. You'll pretty much be on a roll.
And you don't forget that it's not about where you are, it's about where you are going, right? So you can change the way things have been always for you. You don't have to accept what has always been reality for you. You can change your reality, change your thoughts, change your reality. I heard it 1,000 times now, and I have been living it every day.
Dope.
So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to the first episode of Conscious Brainwash. We are very excited for this season, and we are going to be loading up a lot of good content in next episodes, and
Yeah.
looking forward for feedback from you guys. And if you guys like this episode, please like, share, comment, subscribe.
whatever.
We are very
Check it out,
hungry for
share it.
feedback.
Yeah.
This is a new thing for us, and this is coming from straight from our heart, and we
Yeah.
really want to share what we have learned
Yeah.
to help everyone
This
out
season's
there.
a lot of sharing. I feel like the following season is going to be a lot of discussions
Yeah.
and like growth.
Bringing
and,
different people and
Yeah.
talking to different people. So we're looking forward to having you all in the next episode. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks. Cheers. Peace.